Yeah, so back keeping the ball on the ground. The two tremendous young men, Andy Halliday and Kev. What's happening, lads? All right?
Aye, good mate, good.
Sorry, I just had a wee yawn there. Tough
We keep me up?
Aye, tough weekend, Si.
I seen you were out.
I was out Saturday, wee game of golf, and then an all-day session at my pal's house, so getting home at 4 in the morning when the birds are singing, the sun's coming up, it's never good.
No, I end up a wee bit worse for wear, to be fair.
I seen you do it as well, huh?
Aye.
Decent.
It's weird though, innit? Because see me, you get that drunk, like pubs stop serving you, but Chippy still serve yours too. It's crazy, innit?
Fuck off, you kidding? That would be the same bracket. I seen you were at for your dinner. Why'd you keep your coat on?
I don't know. I don't know, because I only had a t-shirt on underneath and I didn't want to show my nips. So.
By the way, what I saw last time, Bobby Madden. Now, somebody actually screenshotted a picture of you and Bobby Madden sitting next to each other and texted me saying, that's amazing you managed to get Willie Collum and Bobby Madden. Oh, he was good, wasn't he?
He was class, aye. He just talks like one of the boys, didn't he?
He's a Ned, basically, isn't he?
Aye, he's perfect, that's what you want.
Oh, he gave me this tap.
Did he actually?
Uh-huh.
So you got that back?
Vintage.
Aye. You don't really wear football strips and that's mental.
He gave Slaney a tarot one.
I know, I saw that on
Benfica.
one of the media things, aye.
And he let you blow his whistle in the car park after.
Nah, Bobby was sound.
He's a good guy, isn't he?
He is. He, I think him having on the show in the future on the games and that, maybe fans will give him a bit more respect because he's just a normal guy just doing a job. But no, he's fun. He's got some banter and some shite banter too as well. But
nice. Shite ref, good banter.
Good guy, hopeless ref.
Aye, hopeless ref.
Now, talking of hopeless refs, you thought Bobby had a shocker last week. What about John? What about Mossy?
I couldn't believe it when I seen it, honestly.
What's he thinking?
I have not done that since I was 14. I got my nickname in my boots. You see people who are like, their kids' names or something like that, but not even his name, his nickname on his boots.
What do you think? Do you think he's done that himself?
Aye. There's a bit of vainness there, Si. That's no, you don't be doing that.
Other than that bunion, have you ever had any on the side of your feet?
No, mate. Nah. Nah. I would never. Why bother?
He's a ref, though, man.
I know, it's just trying to steal the show.
I think we should get some Bobbies onto Bobby Madden's Copa Mondials or something.
I love Bobby.
Aye.
Here, where he's in, look.
Oh, Pelé?
Better than Pelé underneath him, look. Better. Spotty Pelé.
Oh, there. Slain dog.
Got an announcement.
What's happening?
He's taking up tennis.
No chance.
He's not coming back until his forehands. He says he's not coming back until he gets his forehand perfect. I was up watching him the other day at Kelvin Grove Park. Him and the winger were playing tennis right now.
No
and a
way.
wee crowd started gathering and I thought, oh, they must love Slain. But every thought it was Boris Becker. No, he won't be back though.
Are you actually joking though? He took up tennis?
He's taking up tennis, mate.
Oh my God.
I says to him, he
watch
comes
that.
on this week, he says, I can't until I get my forehand perfect. Can't sleep at night. But he will be back soon. Right, we'll talk about the friendlies. Andy, we'll come to you first because I know you watched every single minute of both of them. How did Rangers do, right?
I watched the first game against Leon and to
Is it
be
weird
fair,
watch? Sorry, is it weird watching him as a fan though?
aye, in a way, but it was more weird just again that you're just watching a pre-season friendly in a stadium with no fans. But it was a very, very, very typical to what Rangers have played in Europe last season. Just out of possession, solid, soaked up everything that sort of Leon had to offer and very, very quick in the counter-attack. And to be honest, could have won quite comfortably. Went down to 10 men obviously early and just continued to dominate the game. So it's a pre-season friendly, so you don't take too much away from it, but the signs were there.
Who looked good? Peter said Edmondson done well, and the other boy for Leicester as well, no?
Everyone's sort of done well. The boy Bassey, he looks rapid. That's it. He looked very, very quick when he came on. I think the midfield in particular in that game sort of dominated. Kenty before he went off had flashes, and then Hadji got a goal and a half all game. So I don't know if it was 2 goals, but to be fair, the majority of the team done well.
Kev, you watch any of the Celtic games? No. I think quite a lot of young boys played the second game. The first game was 1-1 with Nice. I think they played the full team.
I think this is the first lot of games for both teams, isn't it? So I don't think you can take, like Andy says, you can't take too much, but usually it's just to try and get fitness levels up. Saying it's the games come near the end of the pre-season tour that kind of give you a perspective of how things are going to be. But I didn't really see them. I was too busy. But that's terrible though, watching.
It's mad though, isn't it? People on Twitter like pure react to.
Aye, but
nobody cares about
nobody cares.
I didn't. Did you?
No, I
You almost say that because Celtic didn't win it.
Nah, if Celtic had won it, would have been a bit more chatty about it, Andy. But obviously, we'll let you have your moment.
I actually didn't care about pre-season, did you?
Nah, but you did care if if you were playing bigger teams though.
Yeah.
It was a good chance to obviously apply yourself against bigger ups. We played Marseille last year though, and they were hopeless. Beat them 5-0, aye. Hopeless. And we all thought
starting 11?
Aye, they're full starting 11. We all thought going into the game, like, this would be a good test, tough test for us. And obviously they didn't care as much as we did because we beat them 5-0.
See, young guys, like, see when I went away with even the first team, I remember Tony Mowbray pulling me before the first team game in Australia and like that. Do you just take the piss all the time? Like, because it was pre-season, Tommy. Like, I was just going about laughing and joking, and he couldn't believe it, mate. But
pre-season for me, like, the main objective was just to get fit, and then hope that you'd done enough in the important games that you were going to be the one called upon that first day of the season. See, when you're not called upon that first day of the season, you just think, fuck it, what's happened? And I don't know, for me, it was just all about getting fit. Like you say, in a joke, I remember being a young guy and thinking, I'm going to be with the first team for like a couple of weeks, this will be class. Because it seemed that they didn't give a shit, but...
That's a classic for the manager though, where they'll say like, it's just about fitness, not getting yourself fit, but if you play shite, they'll slot you.
Absolutely ruin you.
mate,
Aye,
see Peterhead, right?
Don't listen to that shout.
See Peterhead, see Jim, he's the most chilled guy in the world. See during the season or not, he could be getting beat free and he's actually alright. We go up to pre-season at Peterhead, right? We always play a Highland League team on a Saturday because it's a good test, they're decent. And then we get a night out on a Saturday night and then we play like a local junior kind of pub team on a Sunday. We always get a night out on a Saturday night after the first game, right? And you pure wake up, you're still half pissed and you're out playing on a bubbly pitch, dog shit everywhere. Mate, and he's going off his tits on the side and I'm thinking, I've been fucking out last night, man, relax.
And I bet he said it's all about fitness.
He says it's all about, this is just about fitness, I know he's out last night, just get through it. Mate, and he's going off, he's not at the side, man.
Oh, it's classic manager shouts, mate.
Classic manager mate, we Strang was the same. See in pre-season, he used to get so angry. He hooked Ross Wallace and Charlie Mulgrew after 30 minutes, we were away in Poland. 30 minutes in, hooked him in a pre-season friendly. Tremendous, isn't it?
What are you thinking getting hooked after 30? You're thinking that's it, we're done there?
Aye, 100%. Especially in a friendly, because I've never ever seen that before. Probably going to get into Kenty's red card and that. Usually it's just the old sub, innit? Like, he needs to go off, get somebody back on, straight red card up the top.
It's got far too serious football, innit? Even refs used to take pre-season as a bit of a piss take, didn't they?
I know.
Scary. Ken, obviously Rangers' disciplinary record wasn't great. Something that Gerrard wanted to stamp out. It's not an ideal start, is it?
But to be fair, rumour was it was because he's Barnett he got sent off. So we can understand. I think he's took a Castori badge, turned it upside down and just stapled it to his neck. I don't know what that is, but we've spoke before about obviously Rangers' disciplinary record, but it's a new high getting a sent off in a friendly.
He's an angry guy, isn't he, Ken?
It was petulant, it was more a reaction, but see, to be fair, like, Kent is somebody that you'll see him get kicked up and down the pitch in a 90-minute game, and I've never seen him react like that, so I don't know. It was obviously a strange one to see it, but we're just trying to beat the record of 33 cards last year, so...
You think he's missing his pet snake?
I think he's missing his snake, aye. So that's why he took the tongue off and put that in his hair.
Totally. Kevin Kyle's got, if you believe the Daily Sport, Kevin Kyle's got a pet snake.
Aye, Daily Sport, they had people landing in the moon, man, and everything, so take as much as you want for that story.
By the way, we need to mention on the show as well, I don't know if how long you've watched it, but you know Willie Pearson's cousin Nigel sacked for Watford yesterday, absolutely devastated.
Aye.
Did you play with the Scotland youth teams?
No.
Do you know Willie?
No.
No, you don't. He was like he's been a coach for years in about the youth setup.
What you've set up?
In Scotland?
No, well, generally I don't know who it is.
That guy that we talked about in the show.
Everyone knows Willie Pearson.
Except for me, clearly.
There he's there.
How many people have you got with that joke? That's a few.
I can't believe I fell for it, I know.
Oh, brilliant. Right, Kev, we mentioned obviously Celtic young players playing. Dembele, I think the boy Robertson played, Ewan Henderson came back. Can you see any of these young boys breaking into? Is it too big a year now to be risking young boys?
I think the kids can come in and the experience they get from playing a few pre-season games will give them a good footing going forward. But the magnitude of what's at stake this year in terms of possibly 10 in a row or what have you, Celtic's going to try and they'll probably sign a few players, I think, before the season gets started. So that puts the young kids further down the pecking order. But what they've got to do as the young kids is just have that mindset of doing everything right in training, doing pre-season well, so that if things do change and there is an opportunity, they're ready to come in and play. But I can't see them breaking in. But you never know in football. I think
that was always my thing, though, innit? I would used to sit and think, like, I'm getting 30 minutes here. I could come on in here, world, there's no way I'm going to start this season playing.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? It was
it's
soul destroying.
It's
man.
not
Everyone's
nice to
been
think
there.
that's how football is, but that is how it is. And that's
Especially
the
at the big
reality
clubs.
of professional football, that you could go into pre-season, you could be like 10, 12 goals over the course of 4 or 5 games. It doesn't fucking matter, because if the number 9 Edwards fit, or whatever, Morelos is fit at Rangers, you're not getting past them. So you've just got to sit there, bide your time and pray for a miracle, really.
Although I did room with James Forrest on his debut, played Man United in America, and he'd never played a minute, and he was nervous wreck, and it was John O'Shea, mate, and he absolutely rinsed him for 90 minutes, and then Jamesy went and played the season. So
I've never seen a youngster have a bad debut.
have you not?
No.
You obviously never seen me play. Fucking shocking.
I've actually no though. I don't know if it's just because there's no much expectation there, or what, but I've never seen a youngster have a poor debut. I'm somebody that's big on trying to give youngsters a chance, but it is hard at Rangers and Celtic when you've got players that are there on X amount a week, and like Kev said, that's 65 quid, mate. That's living at large.
Live for free.
But it's just the expectation, the pressure week in, week out to win. So I don't know if clubs, the bigger clubs, just see it as too much for the young players, but the earlier they learn it, the better.
The thing is, at some point, the youngsters, if you look at like Celtic, Tierney, Callum McGregor, Jamesy Forrest, at some point somewhere in the past, they got an opportunity and made it their own. So these kids just have to have that mindset that, right, if they get an opportunity, you can only do the best you can, and hopefully it leads to something, but it's difficult. You wonder actually how these young players actually get through, but the day they eventually get through and they play, and
the good ones get through it, the shite ones
the
like
good
us,
ones
that's
get
what I'm
through.
saying,
The good ones, the really, really good ones get through and they make a right good career. Other ones sometimes have to go away for a big club to
Start
come
a
back
podcast.
again, start again. Start a what?
Let's start a podcast. See, while we've got you on, I may as well ask you, good Rangers youngsters, who's good coming through? I like the boy Patterson.
I'm a big fan of Patterson. He's probably been the one over the last... I started doing my B licence just at the start of last season. So I took a bit more to do with the under-20s and the 18s. So I've seen quite a lot of their games over the last couple of years, and Nathan Patterson's always one that stood out because he's similar style to Aaron Hutton, where he's big, he's rangy, he's athletic. Something he's got to work on is probably his defensive duties 1v1, but you know, when you're playing at Rangers and you're going to dominate the ball a wee bit more, it's going to suit his attacking intent. But he was his debut last year, albeit it was Stranraer, but we were shite that day, and he was probably the standout performer on the day. So I think now that John Flanagan and Matt Polster were the sort of two backup right backs and they're away now, so he's probably going to be one that's going to get a chance this year.
Good. Just on bad Barnett's, Kev, anyone else that you can think of that you've played?
Do you know
Both
what?
Sean Thornton had a couple of shots.
Sean Thornton. Do you know what I think? That's
He had a
good
bit about
shout.
him, though,
How
didn't
do
he?
you remember his name?
Good player, Northern Ireland.
Very good.
Centre
No,
midfielder.
Republic Ireland.
He was a good player though.
He was the strangest boy I've ever come across, I think, in football. He was like...
Stranger than...
I think up there.
Right.
Because he was pure ginger, but dyed his hair white. He liked the whole rap music. He loved the bling. He once got his floor, wooden floor in his house, and they got like a big carving made out Sean Thornton's pad all the way around the circle, and as you walked in, it was like engraved into the floor.
Love that.
And remember we got promoted, there was a video when we got promoted from the Championship to Premiership, he did a rap video live in the dressing room and that, and it was like pure, but he was, honestly man, he was such a good player, but you just could not get that guy out the pub.
He was quite heavy, wasn't he?
Aye, every Tuesday club, win a game Saturday, win, lose or draw, he was out Saturday, Sunday, Monday was a mess, and then obviously Tuesday club started the Tuesday, so you only had Wednesday off, so... But
basically he's a hero, mate.
Aye, to be fair, him and Jeff Whitley were alright, but the two of them were great guys. So.
Another guy who had a terrible ban and also had a pet snake is Liam Lawrence, isn't it?
Lenny, jeez, oh man.
That was a python.
His nose, when he grew up as a kid, 2 parts of his body grew longer than every other part. His nose and his thing in his pants.
It's Willie Pearson.
He's Willie Pearson. It just wasn't the fact that it was long, it was the girth. It was fucking hell, man. But no, Lenny, he had a bad Barnet as well, but that's the one thing he used to hate, because everybody used to like slag his nose off because he had a massive nose.
Oh, I'm glad they've got young, so we need to ask you, where does wee Morelos get his haircut, man?
I don't know, but he needs to go back and finish the rest of it, because I don't know why he gets half a haircut out of thing. But I think that's just, he's just...
Did he ever say it to him when he was like...
Aye, but he obviously can't speak English, so it's a waste of time. I just need to learn bad Barnet in Spanish, but it's shocking, but... It's a good question, worst Barnet, man. There's been a few, but I've got to get to Brandon Barker, because I've never seen somebody cling on to hair as much as he does. I
don't know, mate. I can think.
No, come on. There's levels to this. But he's just got that ultimate Velcro Barnet, where it's just bald, but he's just got that Velcro strap that he just, it just side sheds over the top of it.
Bobby Charlton, that. So, see, Gerrard's got a bit, right? He's quite, but he keeps his hair the one length the full way around. Why does he not shave the sides?
I don't know, but he's got a great head of hair, hasn't he?
It's so thick, innit?
Great head of hair, so I'm the one to slag somebody with better hair than me.
Right, okay. See, pre-season friendlies. Playing on dog shit pitches is obviously the worst. The tempo seemed higher in the 2 games. Does it make a difference when you're playing in nice stadiums against good teams?
No, big time, aye. I remember when we played the local Spanish team when I was away with Middlesbrough once, and it was a shambles. The pitch was a shambles. See, every time you play like local teams, I know they always want to fight you, and everybody thinks the British ones are
so
the bad
angry,
ones.
mate, isn't it?
Aye. And the local referees are a shambles, so it just ends up an utter riot. We actually played my first year at Rangers. My first year at Rangers under Gerrard. We went to Marbella. And we had like an intra-squad friendly, right? So obviously they just got this local referee down. I swear to God, you should have seen the size of the guy for a start. He's about 22 stone, right? And his decisions were that bad that the gaffer just got rid of him mid-game.
During the game?
During the game. He's like, right, you get to fuck me, gaffers. We actually scored a goal, right? The gaffer blew back for offside. And this ref's looked a bit like, okay. And he got sacked mid-game. It was that bad.
Brilliant, man. We played at Wembley with Celtic, eh?
Did you? Aye.
Told the story on Twitter.
Old Wembley?
New Wembley, mate. Wembley Cup it was, and Modric was playing, mate, and he was a joke, right? And 20 minutes ago I was saying to wee Paul McGinn on the bench, if I got on, mate, I'm getting Modric's top. Like, he's my hero, man, what a player. Mate, for 20 minutes I just kept asking Modric if I could get his top. And see, after the game we just won the Wembley Cup, and Mowbray's full team talk at the end was, and this little, all I've ever seen him do was run about asking Modric for his top. Mate, next week I was saying I'm on to Swindon, man. But Modric, but I've lost it. Got steaming and lost it, man.
No way.
Idiot. What about any big stadiums you've played in pre-season, Kev?
Used to go and play like, we would always do like, when we were at Sunderland, we would do like a kind of like a tour of France, Holland and Spain. And I remember we played Spain, and we were in Spain and we played Seville. And they had Vinny Samways. When he played for Seville at the time.
Right.
And I remember it was Quinny and Kev Phillips up front, and I was just that young player's backup thinking I'm not going to get a game. Big Quinny's fucking pulled a hammy after 10, I'm thinking it's 40 degrees here in Seville. I'm the whitest Scottish guy that Spain's ever seen, and I'm coming on. I thought, see, after about fucking 20 minutes, I was thinking about pulling a hammy. I was absolutely breathing out my arse, and the Seville were amazing. They were just going pop, 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 and because I was that young player trying to impress, I'm doing the fucking doggies, chasing after him thinking, oh, he's working hard, the big man, and I was just, all I was doing was running myself at the ground, and Kev Phillips like, what are you doing? I says, I'm just trying to impress, just fucking relax. And I think after about 60 minutes I got hooked, so I came on as a sub and come off, and it was just because I was absolutely fucking done, and it was like...
Did you get subbed?
Aye, I was fucking done, I'd run myself at the ground.
See, when you play in the games as well, when it's that hot, you get so angry if someone goes to the ball, don't you? Because you just know you're going to chase it again for the next 5-10 minutes in 40-degree heat. Usually I was the one losing. Shouting at myself.
What about toughest pre-season you've had? Strachan's was hard,
Aye, by far. I don't even need to go any further. Even my medical was hard.
What was that?
The amount of tests I'd done in my medical. But see, to be fair, it wasn't really Strachan, it was more split. I actually done it, so when I done my medical at Middlesbrough, they were doing a sprint test. You ever heard of a sprint test in medical before? So Strachan comes in, he's like, what's going on here? He's like, oh no, he's doing like sprint test now. He's like, for what? He's like, oh, see how quick he is. And he's like, I'll tell you if he's fast. You on the line, have a race, he's fast, he's no. That's like, tremendous, going to say that when it's a fitness test. But our first season, we went to, it was La Manga we went to, and we trained with Marines for 4 days. It was horrendous. Marines.
Oh, did you?
Aye. And it was with Strachan, and it was one of they went, now we're like, they'll do like a group task, and it's shit like going up a mountain, you need to like, carry logs, and then they paired us up as teammates, and we had to like carry a teammate. Thank fuck they didn't get paired with you. So you had to carry
the Scottish Meadow, innit? Scottish Meadow.
Thank fuck I was with Willow Flood, like sprinting up with Willow.
You must have had Willow and somebody else on your shoulder.
I was sprinting up.
Did Meadow need to do that?
I think Meadow was gone at this point, but thank fuck, man.
Mate, see the older players, so they weren't a daft, man.
No.
See like Lenny, Hartson and that, they would pull out the first couple of days and just do pre-season with the physios.
No,
that was the worst though with Strachan, mate, because he used to stand and ball and I don't mind
or
running
train with
with
you.
or date with you.
Aye.
And he would be, you can go faster, and then the older boys are saying stop being a busy wee bastard, and then the manager's telling you to go faster. It's the worst. Being a young kid in pre-season's the worst, isn't it?
Aye, 100%.
Our worst one was either Coventry, and the one at Coventry was bad because they had us up at like 6 in the morning for the first session.
Why did they do that?
Just a fat burner. So we went 6 o'clock and you went for a half an hour fat burner, and then you were allowed to get home and get your breakfast, and then you come back in at 10 or 11, I think it was, to do like a football fitness type run, and then you come back at 5 at night to do the gym session. So it was like from 6 till 5 every day. But the worst one was Billy Brown and fucking with Hearts out in Il Choco, and they used to go to Italy, but I think him and Jim liked the scenery up in the mountains. Couldn't fucking breathe, there was no air. And Billy, it was only the start of like heart rate monitors, so we'd have the heart rate monitors, and the physio Alec at the time would be checking everybody was working hard because you couldn't lie.
Aye, there's no hiding place.
No hiding.
Heart rate.
So we were all like fucked, absolutely fucked. And Alec, Billy's at to Alex, so how are they getting on there, Alec? Eh? Alec's like, oh, they're all fucking working. He says about 140, 150% of their maximum, they're going full out. Oh fucking, I don't think that's working, Alec. Look at them. They look as though they could go again. It's like, fuck off, Billy. And Billy was like, come on, we'll go and do. He used to do this run, and I think like when Hearts won the 98 Scottish Cup final with Lockie and that.
Yeah.
Lockie and them used to go to Choco, and he said, did Billy ever take you in that fucking run up the hill? And Billy would run up this hill and just keep running. You had to keep chasing after him and back down, up this hill, down, up, down. And we'd already done the fucking pre-season, and Billy's like, they don't look as though they're doing enough, Jim.
Have you ever done Gull Sands?
No.
I have once.
I think that looks bad. The hills at Gullen look bad enough without having to run up them.
Who took you up there?
Gary Bowen.
Oh, I've heard Gary Bowen saying it's tough, mate.
It was. I was sick. That was the worst session I've done, pre-season session. But the worst full pre-season was Stratton, 100%.
Stratton's just impossible, man. See, when you're talking about up and down, has your arse been up and down since the Jet got back in at Hearts?
Oh, I phoned the Jet, didn't I? Phoned him first. I did, aye. He got the, was it announced on Thursday? Or Wednesday? I phoned him straight away.
Why'd you phone him when you saying the same issues on?
I phoned him, he didn't answer me, and then the next day he phoned me and I was like, oh, here we go. And I was like, how are you getting on, Jim? I says, that's a great move for you. And he obviously, Jim just doesn't tell you a straightforward answer. He used to give the full run up to how it happened. So for about after 2 years, he eventually told me how he got the job. So good for him. I think that's a good appointment for Hearts because he brings experience, and some of the things he was telling me was actually, I was like, what? So he'll get in there and sort a few problems out, and hopefully Hearts will move forward.
What a man. Right, we'll talk about Hibs as well. They've signed a few players. You're a big fan of the boy Gogic.
Gogic, yeah, he's decent. I think he's one that he's the foreign player that's came to Scotland. He sort of suits the Scottish game. Like, always done a good job for Hamilton when we played them, picking up second balls and keeping it tidy.
Are you going to steal what I've just told you before the show?
What is that what you were going to say?
He was reading your notes.
Truth be told, can't remember him. Generally can't remember him, so I'm just going off what Si told me.
And on the back of that, don't even ask me about the three of them because I've not got a clue who.
I think he's neat and tidy, Gogic. Win second balls, play.
I remember
Hibs need a player like that. I think Hibs, Marvin Bartley used to do it. I think they need a guy that kind of breaks it up and
they've been one even for the last sort of 4 or 5 years where they've always had an attacking threat. But when we played them, we always knew we could get after them and get goals. But I know the boy Kevin Nisbet. I remember when he was at Partick Thistle breaking through, and I was impressed with him. I think he made his debut at Partick when he was like 17, 18, so I'd imagine he's still young enough. So I've heard good things about him, so I'd imagine he's a good signing.
I had Portsmouth were asking me about Nisbet in the summer, Stevenage, Shrewsbury, so I think quite a lot of teams were after him as well.
Did you say he was shite and that's why he's went Hibs?
No, I told him to sign him. He'll be on good money at Hibs, isn't he?
Did he score a few goals at the
He did, he was just behind Shankland in the scoring charts.
So in terms of like interest, if you're scoring goals at any league, somebody's going to be interested in you. So Hibs are a big club, so it'll be a tough test for him getting there, but you never know. He could get in there and he could set the place on fire and away he goes, but who knows?
I do like the boy Dre Wright. I done the Scottish Cup draw last year with your man McCoist after Celtic St Johnstone, was it?
Aye.
Dre Wright was the best player on the pitch, I thought.
Was he, aye?
Playing right back, but I think he's a right winger. I think Martin Boyle will probably leave in the summer, but Dre Wright, good signing, you remember him?
No, I don't. I remember when we played St Johnstone towards the end of the season, I remember there was a young boy that played McCann in the middle of the pitch and he played well. He did really well, but I'm not sure if the boy Dre Wright played that day, but well, you're saying good things about them and I trust your judgment in football. I do. So, to be fair, Hibs were in a false position last year. I know they were loitering near the bottom of the league last year, but when you played them, you knew they were always better than what was ahead of them. So I'm sure that with a few extra signings this year they'll do well.
Supposedly Hearts offered Nisbet more money than Hibs, Kev.
Did they, aye?
So it said in the paper.
That's like Hearts. Hearts have obviously got money, because I was looking at the what do you call it, the fans association or something like this, the trust. They put in something like 125 grand a month just for fans doing direct debits.
I got like, you hear rumours all the time that as well, and it was said that they were paying Liam Boyce's wages. The Hearts fans
125 grand a month. So to me, sometimes that looks like it's maybe going a bit wasted in some of the players that they have signed. Do you want me to phone Jim for you?
So you've not got a club. Wages, then definitely.
I'll give my phone later on and tell me you're busy.
Jeff, I couldn't imagine Jim Jeffries in a mobile phone, eh?
Aye, well, Jim's actually... I remember when he had the heart attack, and I phoned Billy Brown. He says, Jim all right? He says, take a lot to kill that big one.
Tremendous. Another deal, Greg Docherty looks like he could be going back to Hibs with a swap deal with your man Kim Berry. Who's getting a better deal, Hibs or Rangers?
Both, to be fair, because Flo was somebody that last year when we signed him, it was a case of not going to play, probably going to come in as a bit of backup and add competition to there. But JD got a bad injury, and then when he played, I need to stop saying that now. It's in my head that you're doing that to me. But every time that Flo came in, he got an opportunity, done really well. Like really well, made an impact in basically every single game. His first start came against Braga away.
What's he good at?
He's mobile for a big guy, and he's good with the ball at his feet. So, and see, to be fair, he's actually a very good trainer as well.
Is he?
And I think that helped him. The fact that he trained that well, even though he wasn't getting opportunities down the line, it obviously got him the first game he played in was Braga away. 3-2 obviously in the first leg, so it was a big pressure game he played in the first time, and he done very well, to be fair. And then Doc, I know he never played that many games at Hibs because of obviously what happened with the lockdown, but I think he was on fire by the time he was there, and I think they were loving his impact that he was making in the team. So I think it probably works for both teams, because I think Doc, I think the hardest position to get into the Rangers team is probably midfield. The competition is that heavy, so I think it's probably important for him to go and get games again this year.
Doc, JD, Flo. Love that name. Do you get called the proper name there?
It sounds like a band.
Simon.
Oh, that's terrible. Docherty is the fittest man in the world, fun.
Aye, by far. I think he was
a freak.
Under 18s, like
cross country
winner or something like that. But it's ridiculous. I've never
legs and teeth like a Shetland pony, man.
Aye, and chest. He's got a chest like
chest,
that. Aye. Ridiculous. He's ripped to bits, to be fair.
Kev, Canberra, good signing. I've seen Gerrard saying that they want another striker in, but who's going to go and be third choice at Rangers? I think Canberra's perfect. He's happy to go and do that.
Well, we talked about him last year signing. We did say that we thought he was a good loan signing, because I think he's done well at Hibs, but I think he could do really well at Rangers if he was given an opportunity.
Do you?
Aye, I think he could. Right. For me, I think he can mix it up a bit. Obviously, Andy will know more than I will in training, but I would imagine he's a big, strong boy.
Aye, but he's good with his feet as well.
Aye, I think he's got a bit of... I don't want to compare him to some like strikers, but I think he's got a wee bit of guile about him or something. Go
on, compare him. Who are you going to compare him? Go, I want to hear.
I'm not saying it.
I want to hear how much you've had to drink this weekend. Go and tell. Who are you comparing it to?
No, but I think he'd be a good signing. And like you say, with Greg Docherty going the other way, I think Greg would have been a dream move going from Hamilton to Rangers. No quite played as many games he'd probably like. He just needs to get his career going again and play every week and get people talking about him that way, because he's one of them steady eddies every week, isn't he? Like a 7 out of 10 every week, regardless. You know what you're going to get. So, but no, I think like Andy says, it's both for both teams. Good situation for both teams.
Okay, brilliant. Leeds promoted to the Premier League. Your man Bielsa's a hero, isn't he? Mate, he never takes that track here. No. He's like that old guy in the bookies that does his tank on trap free every day, innit?
Aye, sits with a pen in the back of his ear.
But what a hero, mate.
Aye, class. I mean, you actually see how the top managers in the world speak about him. So obviously he's sort of moulded like your Simeones and your Pep Guardiolas and people like Pochettino, but I think it was a surprise to everybody in the first place that even went to Leeds, because obviously his CV's that high, Leeds being in the Championship at the time, but we all know how big a club Leeds is. Like, I always felt for my time down there that they were the biggest club that I played against. Like, that nobody brought a better away following than them, so you knew how big they were going to be, and who you going to rather watch, to be fair, them or Bournemouth in the Premier League? Do you know what I mean?
Your man Eddie Howe's gone.
Thank fuck.
You were sticking up for him.
I know, I was sticking up for him saying he was a good manager, but I'm just glad that Bournemouth's gone, you know what I mean?
I think Leeds will do very well in the Prem.
Massive club in there.
Surely they'll spend money.
Playing at Ellen Road
and
is a buzz, innit?
They'll attract big players.
I think you played there, and
See,
I'm sure
we beat them, mate. I did play there.
And you played there, Andy. When that stadium's full and rocking, it's some atmosphere.
Yes.
They were one of the best teams when I was like playing youth team. they were one of the best teams to play against youth-wise because they had their youth team was Kuehl, McPhail, Smith, the Kelly. Was it Gary Kelly?
Gary Kelly,
Ian Hart. They were unbelievable. And then obviously that same kind of group of players went to the Champions League semi-final.
Yeah.
They had Michael Bridges up front. They had Big Woodgate at the back. Was it Woodgate? Aye. Ferdinand, but teams just disappear. How long were they out of the Premier League? Is
16 years.
16 years. But now they're back. Like, I don't think they will make the mistakes of ever going back into that Championship. I think they'll probably spend wisely. They've got a manager there who will, I think he'll buy well. And you might actually end up seeing a completely different Bielsa because now he's in with the big boys and now he might just show the full Bielsa managerial forte, and I think he'll just, I think Leeds, because see the squad they've got now.
No good enough, is it?
They're not good enough. Like, they're a good Championship team that's won the league, but they're going to need to bring in some flair and a bit of class that's going to take them into that next level.
I'd hang my hat on them being anywhere between 9th and 14th. I
thought you were going to say 9th and 6th, not 14th.
No. But I think they'll do well this year. I think they've got the stature to attract big players, and with him there as well. And like you said, I think they're going to spend. But
I think
they'll try this playing out for the back, similar to Norwich.
But I think the Premier League's going to welcome. They'll be buzzing. The TV, everything's going to be buzzing. The fact, even other teams will be like, fucking hell, on away day to Leeds, and because. It's a massive club, and people up here, I've read things people say, how's Leeds a big club? It is a big club. You need to get in there and play against them or experience a match and you'll understand why it's a big club.
That day we won 3-0, our manager says, you need to enjoy this. No, every day you win at Elland Road. Paul Carriot on the bus with him, mate. What a day, man.
Aye, I've been scudded there twice, so not had that feeling. I think their style of play will suit the Prem.
Do you think so?
I think their style of play is very similar to like a Wolves, but I actually think they're probably more quicker on the counter-attack than Wolves. They're not as good as Wolves, obviously, but they're quicker on the counter-attack. So I think with better players, I think it will suit them in the Prem.
Brilliant. And then as we say, it looks like Bournemouth, who do you think Villa as well gone?
Aye.
I think, who's the last game?
Norwich are away, Bournemouth are basically away.
Bournemouth are away to Everton.
Villa play West Ham, don't they?
I think that could be the one. If Villa could get something at West Ham, that gives them a... Watford's got Chelsea and Arsenal, is that not right?
No. They're either away to Arsenal, but then this game coming up, I think they're at home to City.
Aye. So it's tough because that goal that did Villa no lose a last minute goal last week to draw.
If Theo Walcott scores against you, if Theo Walcott scores against you with a header, you're done, aren't you?
That's it. You may as well get down after that.
But he still gets sent to his bed at 9, didn't he?
But no, they've obviously given it a good go, but. I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. It's hard to stay in the Premier League when you're needing 3 points and you're looking at the fixture list and you think, oh God. But Bournemouth, they've had a good run at it, but hopefully that's the last we fucking see of them.
Bournemouth have actually had the better opportunities with fixtures to get results and all, and they've just not done it.
Right, Leeds were a subject of a documentary last season. We've got a wee snippet for an upcoming one with Spurs and Mourinho telling his players they need to be. Love that, innit? But see, people outside the football, they think that's like mad, and it happens all the time.
Except for Scotland, though, because it's a good word in Scotland. You are a good. No, my favourite part was the fact that it says no stupid, intelligent. That was my favourite, and it panned it to the players, and somebody in the front row was laughing. I couldn't even tell who it was. But see, to be fair, one thing you say, like Mourinho's Chelsea team works like proper. So you could tell like. Bad refereeing decisions, they're all swarming the ref, bad tackles in somebody's faces. So it's hard to say. Obviously, I don't know Tottenham's players. I don't know if they're too nice or whatnot, but you can see with his past teams, that's how he wants them to be.
But even like look at Liverpool's team now. Like they are all. See like Robertson that were referees. See that after the game at Burnley. I think top teams need to be like that, don't they?
I think with Tottenham it's as if they've just accepted where they got to last year in terms of the Champions League final they got to. Aye. And then this season it's not quite worked out. Pochettino got sacked. And it's as if they've just accepted it. You never seen any of them rushing out in the media saying, oh, why has he been sacked and stuff. It was just like they accepted he'd been sacked. Mourinho's come in and will just kind of go with the flow. You don't really hear too much noise. Even like Harry Kane, right? Harry Kane's obviously the top goal scorer in England, and England like, he's potentially maybe going somewhere else. But you don't hear much of him saying we've got to do better or we've got to improve on things. It's just everything seems to just kind of fly on the radar with Tottenham, whereas other big clubs, you hear noise all the time. This is no good enough, that's shite. But Tottenham, maybe Mourinho's the man to fucking get rid of the I don't know what the word is, and get more in. Proper.
When Hugo Lloris is your captain for, man.
Aye.
That's the thing, they've not recruited well. Well, in fact, I'm saying not recruited well, they've not recruited.
No.
Since they've got to the Champions League final, they bought Lo Celso,
the boy
Bergwijn.
No, and Dembele, who does not give
aye, but he's a good player as well.
He is good, but he just walks about, doesn't he?
I know, I remember that Burnley game,
Pure highlighted it on
Carragher, I analysed him after the game and he didn't move for 45 minutes.
Amazing, man. Have you ever played in a dressing room that the boys were just too nice?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think I have either,
Nah, I don't think I have that.
We were all just too shy.
I think it's different in Scotland though, I know, because everybody's a character in Scotland. You just feel like you've got to have a bit about you, and I just think every team I've played in said that sort of group.
Every dressing room I think I've ever been in, there's some foreigners or some English boys that are quiet, but every dressing room had a Scottish guy who was just loud as fuck.
Yeah.
Without fail, didn't matter. Like I can imagine me Andy Robertson in that Liverpool dressing room, fucking giving everything to everybody. There's a wee Scottish madman in every dressing room, but nah, I've never come across.
Did you see the Andy Robertson one when he was going for the ref after the game? The Burnley ref. They sounded quite posh, but you're right.
Somebody said it was like that. Have you seen the video of the guy shouting at the bouncers at Oran Moor? You fucking serpent.
That's one of my favourite videos, that's why I'm laughing.
That was funny though. You missed everything all day.
You gave my yellow card in the 95th minute.
Oh, brilliant for the wee man. Raging. The Canna used to call us Chihuahuas, eh? Don't want you to be a Chihuahua, I want you to be a Rottweiler. That's what he used to say every game. Too nice, Chihuahuas.
I couldn't imagine that team was too nice.
Nah, you couldn't be with him, mate, because he would slap fuck at you before every game. Honestly, you were so raging going out to play. Another guy flying down south, Tierney. Do you know what I like about Tierney though? And I said this to Andy before you came in, Kev. He's not doing anything outstanding. He's getting the ball and he's passing it to his winger and he's running round him and he's putting crosses in the box. And then you get 80 million quid dunderhead Big Maguire, mate.
Why? That's what I was thinking the day.
What is he doing, man?
I was hoping to expect the day Si would turn up and there was an extra paragraph in there about Harry Maguire.
I know.
But like you say, Si, what is KT doing differently to what he did up here in Scotland? Nothing.
Being a good defender, isn't he?
Just being a good defender. When he gets an opportunity to go forward, he does. He puts in great, like to me, he puts in quality crosses. When I was doing it, my B licence, Andy Millen that was doing the sessions, he used to say a good thing, and I'm saying it here, make defenders defend. So like when you're going down the wing, see this coming back, turning and passing it back in, just cross it, make defenders defend. If you make them defend all the time, eventually they're going to make a mistake, or you're going to get a striker who gets across the defender. He does that. Kieran Tierney for me gets to a point where he just puts balls in for everywhere, and if he, like, very rarely does he ever come back and get to somebody else. He will try and do that himself. His defending is second to none, in a back three behind him that's a shambles, or was a shambles a couple of weeks ago. They've improved a wee bit, but he's just doing things that are simple.
Yeah.
And sometimes football is just a simple game. Too many people try and complicate it, like Harry Maguire. He's doing this running and delivering. Why don't you just pass that back to De Gea? Because De Gea would just kick that up the park first time anyway, whereas he wants to look like Baresi or fucking Maldini coming at the back like a maestro. He's not going to be them.
It was that bad as well that Matic actually dropped deep to get on the ball and he ran into Matic.
And they ran into him.
Yeah.
They played a 1-2 without even knowing it. I'm waiting on for that video coming on in the social media where they play that fucking stupid music, Benny Hill music, because that's what it was. But for me, Tierney, he took a wee bit to settle in and a few injuries, but now, like, there's a move on the cards.
Yeah.
There's a move. Like, they're talking about Man City buying Chilwell. Is it Chilwell?
Yeah, Chilwell.
Kieran Tierney's better than Chilwell to go to Man City.
You think?
Oh, absolutely.
I think Tierney's a top player, mate. Like, the best players just do the simple things really well, didn't they?
That's what we spoke about before we started recording it. Like, I think Andy Robertson's the top 3 best left backs in the world, and that's because of what you've said, that he just does everything simple, and then in the right areas he'll try and create. And he's probably one that he sort of starts the press for Liverpool a lot of times as well.
Yeah.
But you actually see him as a left back, high pressing, winning balls. He's linked up with Mane on the left hand side, and how many assists he had in the last 2 seasons in the Premiership. And then obviously with Tierney went in, it was unfortunate for him that he had an injury at the start, but he looks as if he's made a difference to the Arsenal team since he's been in, and again it was just doing the simple things and playing when he needs to.
Now for Robertson's quite posh rant, what about Tierney like that after the game? Somebody says he was doing it to Mossy. Mossy was there for that game, wasn't he? Because Mossy's in the same crew as Nigel Winterburn supposedly. And he says to him, you'll never be Winterburn. That's what Arsenal need to, innit? Like, even David Luiz, like, I thought he was brilliant on Saturday, wasn't he? See when he does things simple, he looks a great player. See when he starts trying to...
95% of the games I watch Arsenal, for the full game I'm saying, how good is he on the ball, David Luiz? And then that 5% is just a mistake every game. But you watch him and he's on the ball, he's phenomenal. Defensively, he can be faultless. And then for 5 minutes of the game, he's giving you 2 chances, literally. That's why he's obviously had the criticism he has, but he's an unbelievable player.
What about your twin, even loves Tierney?
Who's that?
Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan. Twin.
You're a fucking cunt.
Piers Morgan, Fanny. No, Piers Morgan. What's not you like about Kieran Tierney? Seriously,
I know.
We obviously did the head tennis thing with the Celtic boys and the Rangers boys, and everybody was signed. But how down to earth is he?
Yeah.
Like, he just hasn't forgotten where he's came from, what he's achieved in the game, and very, very humble. And I think that maybe in the Arsenal dressing room might actually rub off on some of them down there that think they're beyond themselves. I think that here's this wee humble guy bouncing into the stadium with a Tesco bag with a toothbrush and the shower gel and that. That's the kind of things I would have done. See if I couldn't find it.
But you would have been full of food, no?
A couple of digested biscuits. That was a ritual of mine at Sunday. I used to get ready, then go up and sit the tea lady and a wee cup of tea and 3 or 4 digestives to dip in, and I get to do the warm up.
Tremendous, mate.
But
what was I going to say there? 2 minutes. I wanted to ask you. Oh, this is it, right? A guy that we've no mentioned a lot who is ripping it up as well, doesn't even get mentioned, Stuart Armstrong. Southampton flying, mate. For me, Armstrong could get a move again, I think.
Aye, definitely. He's somebody that's like what I talked about Greg Dockett with his engine. He's probably going to be right up there. And playing against him, which I have, it's hard to play against people who've got that energy that are just constantly diving, making runs in behind, and you can see that's how he scored the amount of goals he scored back in Scotland, and then obviously some of the Premiership goals, because he's just got that knack of timing in the box. And Southampton, I think, actually looked very good under this manager, especially over the last sort of 3-4 months, and the sort of the link up him and Danny Ings has got has been good.
Seen Harry Redknapp saying that like the standard in the Premier League is not what everyone thinks it is. He says that he thinks a lot of boys in Scotland could go and play there. Do you agree with that? Aye,
definitely. I've always said that, because you know yourself when you're training with your teammates that are maybe they're thought of highly by other people, but you personally think he's not that good. He's good, but he's not that good. Yeah. And then you see sometimes some of your teammates in the Premiership, they'll get a move and they'll go and do things. You think, fucking hell, man, how did he? I always look at the guys like Harry Kane, right, when he went away in loan early doors.
Never done it much, did he?
And he was very, very average. And I think there's not many players come out of the Premiership, go on loan and actually stick out, because it's totally different. Whereas in the Premiership, you're surrounded by every player's a good player. So it makes you better. And then when you go to a different team that's not got as many good players, it becomes harder. So for me, could a lot of Scottish players? Absolutely. But it's just getting that opportunity side. If you look at any Scottish player that's been down there in recent times, if you go for like Andy Robertson, best left back in the world. Kieran Tierney, number 2 best left back in the world for me.
Van
Dijk. But if we're talking about Scottish people, John McGinn, another one. Armstrong went down, Snoddy. None of them's looked out of place. No. They're all having their own. So what's the difference? The difference is that
they've had a chance.
They've had a chance, but they're playing with. They've got maybe a squad of 16 to 20 very, very, very good players around them. Whereas in Scotland, each team, whether it be Celtic or Rangers or other teams, they've got 4 or 5 really, really exceptional players. 4 or 5 in the middle of the road, and then the rest make up the squad. Yeah. I think that's the difference. It's who you're playing with.
Mate, see, when I was down there, I used to love FA Cup games. You play Premier League teams. You get so much time on the ball. You think I'm actually a decent player, and then you go and play Walsall away, and you were absolute horseshit, man. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just somebody on you.
You took that comment right out the mouth. Like, I've played, obviously, the Chelsea game, played Man City in friendlies, played Swansea, I've played 6 or 7 Premier League teams, and every time we've played them, that's exactly how you felt. You feel as if you've got more time in the ball. You feel as if you've actually got, it's not even composure, it's just time to make up your mind. Nobody's really, I don't know if it's just because it was the cup and that's the way, but, and then like you said, you'll go and play Walsall on a Tuesday, and you're just fighting for second balls, and you've got a split second on the ball to just chan at him behind. It's just a completely different world, aye.
Sorry, before you move on, they talk about the Premiership being fast-paced and how quick it is and all that. I never ever thought it was.
No.
I used to, as a striker, when I was out on loan, every time that ball came up to you, I was thinking, oh fuck, who's going to come through the back of me here today? And it was always constant. Take a touch next time you were tackled. But seeing the Premiership, you always felt like, well, give me the ball, I'll take a touch.
Yeah.
I'll lift my head and I'll see where I'm laying it off. I just always thought it was, it's not as fast paced as what people think. That's why I think if you brought, say, like an Everton or Aston Villa up here and played against, say, fucking like Aberdeen, Hibs, whatever, in a friendly, they would find it tough.
Yeah. Well, Aberdeen played Burnley not that long ago, didn't they?
And they gave them a game.
Right good game.
Don't get me wrong, good players create space and time for themselves, but I don't think the pace in the Premiership is what people make it.
No, the pace up here is quicker, 100%. 100 mile an hour.
The pace in the Championship's quicker, no doubt.
Yeah. Right, okay, 5 subs. Premier League announced to be 5 subs. Load of rubbish for me. Hopefully it doesn't come in up here. Because it suits the bigger teams, doesn't it?
But does it though?
I think so.
I don't know why people are complaining about it.
See, when I'm a sub, I don't want to come on, man.
See,
when there's 5 subs, there's more chance of me coming on.
Exactly. but see what I don't get right. How many times you hear managers and pundits in England talk about the schedule and how demanding it is on players, and then they finish the season, then they go away playing international, and it's like, this gives obviously more a chance for rotation and flexibility and resting players. And see, the thing is, we're touching on young players getting a chance. Surely that gives them a better chance with 5 subs.
Wow, I'll tell you something, you've changed my mind.
Tell you what though, see the 5 subs, I would like the 5 subs to, 2 of them have to be of a certain age. Under. That would help the younger boys be on the bench, give them a bit of experience. I would like that to come in. So is it 7 subs you're allowed, but you can put on 5? Or is it?
Still 7 subs, isn't it?
Aye, so have like, out of the 7, have maybe say 3 that've got to be under 21. But for me, I would be buzzing with that, because see, when you're doing the contract negotiations, you're fucking flinging in appearance money. Give me a chance of getting on with 5 subs.
It's important. No, you go.
On you go, mate.
I think it's important as well, they're talking about it still stays with 3 time slots. Because if you can make 5 subs and you can make them all at different times, then it's just completely slowing down the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
But if it's still in the same time slots, then I think it's fine.
Do you use ever on the bench when it was at under 21 rule?
No.
No, see, I would play in Scotland for that.
Oh, mate, we used to get on the bench for under 21 rule. It was like £1,200 a win bonus.
Aye.
And Tony Mowbray used to mention it before every game. We all know that there's kids here that shouldn't be on the bench, but they're here and I'm sitting there like that.
Did he actually?
I used to say it all the time, mate.
That's bang it, man.
I wasn't bothered to, mate.
I know, but still, I wouldn't expect your manager to say it.
I know.
I actually do, I like it.
But 5 subs, imagine like your 5th sub coming on.
I know, but everyone, like you're saying, that it could suit like bigger clubs with bigger squads, but there's a small percentage of games where you actually say he came on and made a difference. Because I think as a sub, I've always said I think it's harder to come onto a game than when you're starting.
The thing is, surely if you're putting 5 subs on, it's going to upset the kind of tempo and rhythm of the game for your team.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you're thinking, he's coming on, he just imagine getting all that information on the iPad at the side of the 5 times. That's no.
I wanted to ask you, see yesterday, what about Solskjaer changing his team for the FA Cup semi-final?
I know.
Boys have been off for 3 months, man.
I know.
And Martial's probably arguably been the form player in the Premier League, and he doesn't start.
Ollie's just no.
Doesn't matter.
It was
and do you know what else was annoying me? One of his collar was just tucked in and one was tucked out the whole game.
Still CD bit in you.
It must have been something to do with, obviously, just the way they wanted to set up tactically, because they were obviously went the 3 at the back. I don't know if it was something in his head to stop Chelsea with Daniel James's pace or something, but you don't drop somebody that scored 6 goals in 7 games for a semi-final.
Daniel James is another one. He top and tails with Theo Walcott, didn't he?
He looks rapid, but
too nice, mate. So see, because you were quite a lot last year. Would you like the 5 sub rules in Scotland?
I would love it.
Would you?
I played about 15 games last year, 5 sub rules. I'd like to think I got pushed up to 16, 17.
Tremendous. Right, last wee bit. Clive Tyldesly. What's his name? Tyldesly?
Tyldesly.
I'm sorry, right? What's he done? Mate, he's been the commentator for 25 years. You've had your go.
The thing
You've got 2 tennis balls in your cheeks.
When he was doing the rant, I was thinking, fucking hell, that's a shame he's been sacked. Then he turns in, but I'll stay on as number 2. And I thought, you've not even been sacked and you're slagging off your employees.
Mate, players leaving, they didn't say a word. This guy's a commentator, man. It's like Mossy having Mossy on his boots. Clive's bringing out video. Who's doing the video? His missus?
He's had the hump big time, hasn't he?
I didn't even see the story. I only seen the video. Man. And then I just obviously he talks about it, so you end up knowing what it's about, but it was a weird one. It's something that you've never seen before. But you would say, like, somebody like him, you do associate his voice with like international, like ITV football. But Clive, we don't give a fuck.
I'm glad you said it. I could not fucking.
He's always talking England up as well, isn't he? He annoys me, man.
I couldn't give a fuck about international football either. I would never watch an international friendly.
Would you not?
Nah.
Would you rather speak to the missus, isn't it?
Debatable.
There's talk of replacement and front runner, Tom the commentator. He's some man, isn't he? Do you know what? I'm going to ask you, have you got a favourite commentator?
I do like Martin Tyler. I always think he's synonymous with English Premiership. When you hear his voice, there's something quite soothing. You wouldn't mind him being your granddad or something, you know what I mean? But I just think that for me, it would definitely need to be Martin Tyler. Andy Gray, I just always thought he exaggerated everything a wee bit too much, and I couldn't stomach him. And then would he call him the guy that was on the FIFA? He used to be the commentator over the FIFA computer game, John Watson.
Oh, John Watson,
aye.
Didn't like him.
BBC.
He was like the English version of Dougie Donnelly. Carpet rug he'd. But no, I like Martin Tyler. I don't think there's any.
What about Ian Crocker? I like Ian Crocker now.
I think he's decent as well.
Ian Crocker's good, man.
Ian Crocker's alright. Davy Provan. Imagine Slaney was here right now. We're talking about Davy Provan.
Did you hate him?
Slaney.
Slaney. Monday Night Football is my favourite games, man. See the Neville Carragher analysis, like, and the way they go at it with each other. I look forward to it every week. But same as you, Martin Tyler. Brilliant.
Did you hear Martin Tyler slaughtering Alan Smith's accent the other day?
No.
He actually caned Alan Smith, done his mad accent. Wait till you hear this one, right? Do you know who Alan Smith is?
I know he is.
Mate, Martin Tyler and his old age, you just caned him, boys, eh? He was caning Neville as well. What a guy. But he's like 70 odd now.
Who's the worst?
The worst. I sent Slate these questions. He said, Slaughter Craigan.
To be fair, I don't mind Big Craigs, but he is.
I think Craigan's alright on it, mate. I think he's an honest opinion now.
It's just that Northern Irish accent where he tries to aggressively enhance everything he says. Oh, he's got to do it. Oh, just no. But the other one, remember last year, 2 years, or a wee while back when I think it was like a World Cup or a Euros, and they gave Phil Neville a couple of games.
Oh, Neville, he's hard work.
Mate, I just put the kids in front of the telly and they put them to sleep.
Nah, Sol Campbell. Do you see Sol Campbell?
Aye, I've heard stories about Sol Campbell as a person. I know, just weird.
Mate, they were asking him questions and about Oxlade Chamber, and he went, "Yeah, he's a good guy." Sol's miles off it, man.
I would say with you though, Martin Keown. I don't think it's great.
Oh, Keown's terrible,
Martin
mate.
Keown's not great.
Terrible. What about who's good in Scotland? Tomo does alright. Kevin Thompson now when he's on the co-coms. Tomo's good.
Tom was good. I think Outray's decent. People might have different views, but I think Outray's good.
That's because you've got the same.
Same what?
Lads, been tremendous as usual.
Super.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Cheers.